Combat is probably the most important skill in all of Skyblock. It's what most players strive for and is what allows them to slay dragons, fight slayer bosses and even venture into the depths of the catacombs. For all these methods, I am going off the assumption you own a cookie and a god boss. This doesn't mean they're terrible without them, but they will be less efficient. There are some other extremely useful items that can come in handy. These include the veteran attributes on armor and equipment, and other items like combat XP potions and Viking tiered experience potions that will be useful later on in the video for one specific method that I'll mention later on. Revenant horrors are one of the easiest methods to gain combat XP, and it's probably the one you'll start off with. For the measly price of just 50 mil, using a Reaper set and a Reaper falchion will allow you to get at least 500,000 XP an hour. A slightly better setup in my opinion, and for a much cheaper price is a full set of crimson armor. The requirement for this is combat 24, however I doubt you'd be attempting the Slayer boss without that level to begin with. With a max setup you can make upwards of 1 million XP an hour depending on how experienced you are. In terms of profit, with all right magic finds you could potentially break even, but depending on your magic find and luck, this can vary. Since rev trading was removed, hearts have basically doubled in price, fortunately making rev trading much more profitable with a good setup, and most importantly, the addition of friends. The price for friends tends to vary from. One of the most well-known methods for grinding combat XP is ghost farming. Because of ghosts' fast respawn rate, their high money per hour and combat experience, they have become extremely popular. They are used for leveling combat, pet leveling, and for all sweaty players who can get +1 Skyblock XP every few days. The methods for ghosts can go as cheap as 10 million coins with a pooch sword and massive armor set. However, because one-tapping ghost is necessary, you may need to pay slightly more for a good pet and talisman setup, but this is easily made back due to the fact you can get 10 mil an hour to as much as over 20 mil with a good setup and over 30 mil with a high bestiary and a max setup. It makes over 1 million XP an hour with a decent setup and over 1.5 million with a max one. What makes ghost so profitable is sorrows. Selling for close to 500k per and being a magic find item, your setup and your ghost bestiary level impact the amount of money you make heavily. People like Death Streaks with bestiary level 37 on ghost can get over 500 magic find. It only cost him weeks of his life. The max setup really just depends on how much magic find or veteran you can get whilst maintaining your 1 million damage single hit. Flares are one of the newest XP methods on Skyblock. They've been popularised since Kuja's revamp. This is because of the extremely effective way to grind nether stars that can be used to buy keys used for the Kuja boss fights. With their high nether star rates, they come with a high combat XP of over 3 million an hour. Flares are typically used to level pets, leveling a GDRAG close to 4 times an hour. Unlike most methods, this method is the only one to require a Hyperion, costing over 2 million coins. It also requires you to one-shot the flares, which can also require a high mana setup with Bizarre Reforge. However, it only makes a few million coins an hour, so its only usage besides combat XP is the stars. A tip for flare grinding is to use Dulker mod, which lets you know when you are no longer gaining combat XP due to a bug. I'll leave a link to the Discord to get it in the description. Probably one of the most overlooked XP methods is my personal favourite, Smoldering Blazes. These Crimson Isle mobs give a much larger amount of coins than you'd expect and can be grinded with ease. This method costs billions of coins and in the meantime can help get you to a high Blaze Slayer level, making over 1 million XP an hour on its own or more than 700,000 when grinding the Slayer at the same time. This may not seem like a lot for the price of the setup, but for every 10,000 Blaze Slayer XP you can get 1 level on a Golden Dragon pet, meaning with a max setup, every hour you are leveling a GDRAG 1 level. This is good because spawning bosses can be a pain, so the GDRAG's extra damage helps to kill mobs quicker. This compensates for some of the combat wisdom lost from not using a Wisp or Wolf pet. Also, the GDRAG's magic find makes Smoldering Books, which are a low chance RNG drop from Smoldering Blazes, more common. From Smoldering Blazes, you drop both Smoldering Books and Blaze Ashes. Blaze Ashes can be used to craft Blaze Belts. Certain attributes, such as Veteran or Vitality, can go for over 2 mil per, and a God Roll for over 10 mil. You can get over 1,000 Blaze Ashes an hour if you grind the Blazes without bosses. From each Blaze Belt crafted, there is around a 1 in 4 chance you get a good roll, and around a 1 in 100 chance you get a God Roll. This means you can make between 30 to 40 mil an hour with an optimal setup, depending on your luck. This is a crazy amount of coins considering the pet XP gained and making it one of the best XP methods in terms of coins. Flaw 6's combat XP method is based on how quickly you can complete a run. This means it is heavily reliant on your Skyblock ability and your gear. Just one run can make you over 100k XP with a basic setup. If you have quick runs, you can complete 20 runs an hour. With this and a good veteran setup, you can make 2.5 million XP an hour. This method is commonly used to level pets, making a massive 6 million pet XP an hour, being enough to level a Golden Dragon pet from level 100 to 200 in just over 30 hours. However, unlike other methods, because God bots don't work in dungeons, you have to use a combat XP potion and the Vikings tier brew to get optimal XP. This can make the method a little annoying to repair, especially with the requirement of a frag boss. This method used to give a decent few million coins in the past, but as the Flower of Truth decreased in value, the Ancient Roses dropped from 300,000 to under 50,000, meaning you only make 500,000 coins an hour total. Including prices of the potions and ignoring the profit from the pet XP gained, you actually lose money. Minions are one of the most common sources of XP, so what is the best? Revenant Minions. With a max combat wisdom set, this 2.5 billion minion setup can make you over 2 million combat XP per day with hyper catalysts, and 11 million profit from items alone. This is around 5 million pet XP per day, enough to level a golden dragon pet from level 100 to 200 in just under 6 weeks, with no effort. The minions pay themselves back in under 4 months. This is because the minions can make as much as 25 million coins total, including the pet XP gained on GDRAG pets. This is how I would rank these 6 combat XP methods. I'd rank Revenant Minions as the best, considering they take 0 effort. I'd rank Flares at second, considering they make the most amount of combat XP and they can be extremely useful for grinding nether stars used for keys for the Kuja boss fight. I'd rank Ghosts at third because they make loads of combat XP and money at the same time. I'd rank F6 and M6 at fourth because despite making loads of combat XP, they don't make a lot of coins and can be a faff to set up. I'd rank Smoldering Blazes as fifth, considering they take basically no effort if you're going to be grinding Blaze Slayer. I'd rank Revenant Horrors as last, not because they're bad, but they're more of an early mid-game combat XP method. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and comment letting me know what guide videos I should make next.